people of YouTube, and welcome. Hey, so it's been a while since I put a video on my channel, so I decided to do another vlog sort of effort. I'm actually cooking at the moment in the kitchen, as you can see right by here. We've got a ton of bacon being cooked. So I'm going to do myself one of those pasta dishes with a ton of bacon in it and all sorts of stuff like that. So another update regarding the office is that when I come back from Iceland, things kind of lost track. But it's all back on track now for me to move in at the beginning of next month. Which is like, oh my god, it's been like how long since I come back from Iceland, and I wanted to go in before I went. Which kind of sucks a bit, but you know, whatever. So yeah, I decided to put a video on the channel because I want to try and get involved back in the community again on YouTube, even though I'm not currently doing any gaming related content. But yeah, I figured I might just do some questions and answers videos regarding me and what I do. For those of you who don't know what I do graphics and web design. So that might be something that you guys might want to talk to me about or ask some questions regarding. I need to keep an eye on my food as well, so yep. So a lot of questions you guys have asked me over the past couple of months anyway is because a lot of you want to go into design, and I know computer languages is a thing that you guys do in school now, which didn't actually happen when I was in school, unfortunately. So a lot of the learning and the learning curve that I went through was something I put myself through because I saw a demand in it a couple of years ago when I was unemployed. So I thought if I learned computer languages, obviously that would open up an opportunity for me to get employed within the computer sort of industry like that. But yeah, I'll just go through 3 questions that I've been asked. But feel free to leave some questions in the comments or tweet me. And I'll be sure to do another questions and answers video quite soon, because these are really easy for me to do rather than me go on the computer and start recording some gaming content. But the first question is, how did I get into graphics and web design? Well, that's a simple answer to that. I'm still watching my food. Generally, I go into graphics and web design because a couple of years ago, I'm not going to blame it on the recession, but a lot of jobs in Wales actually vanished because of the economic climate. I think so anyway. Or labour is cheaper in a different country, one or the other. And I was unemployed for 4 years and I literally couldn't land a job interview. So one of the things I learned on the side was websites and coding and, you know, CSS, HTML, PHP, a little bit of JavaScript. And that's how I fell into web and graphics. I obviously learned Photoshop on the fly because you need to create graphics in order to make a website. You can't just code it. Well, you can now, but back then you couldn't. You needed to know a bit of Photoshop, which everyone should know a bit of Photoshop if you want to work in graphics and web anyway. The second question is, I'm actually doing freelance web design and I'm not getting a lot of work. How do I get more work? So this is another simple solution for you guys out there. Don't worry about the products you're actually making or selling. The first thing you need to do is sell yourself. If you sold yourself, anything that you're selling actually gets sold with it. That's probably quite hard to understand, maybe, but if you think about it, if you come across as a good rapport to other people, generally you can land a sale no matter what you're selling, unless you're selling something like £1 million yacht. But if you're providing a service the everyday person can purchase, there's no reason for them not to if you come across as a really good person who's got a really positive attitude and who laughs randomly at nothing. So yeah, as long as you have a good attitude towards others, usually you land sales. Don't approach people selling something. Approach people in general concern that you want to be involved in what they're trying to achieve. Don't send them emails saying, give me 200 quid, I'll make you a little shitty website. Which I get all the time. I get constant emails off people trying to subcontract work from me, but I never give them work because of the way they conduct themselves to me. The first, like, you know, they say the first 10 seconds you talk to someone are like quite consequential, consequential. Maybe it helps in their decision whether they're going to hire you or not. That's not always the case, but generally don't come across to someone and try and hard sell them a product, because they'll be like, get the fuck out of here. But if you come across someone, you're like, hey, how you doing, man? Do you want a beer? And they're like, yeah, man, let's go for a beer. Whatever. Anyway, there was one more question, actually. Let me have a quick think. Hello, I'm back. I paused the video just to think. So another thing was, how do I grow my business? And there's a few different ways of doing that. I've actually managed to work in the house now for a while, and I've grown my business remotely from the house. A lot of businesses move into shops, have shop fronts, which I can't quite understand myself, because of the amount of overheads you take on in such a short period of time. If you imagine working in the house, of course, working from home, I mean, you're sort of semi-rent free because you live with your parents, so the overheads are a minimum. You've got your mobile phone to pay for, a bit of board and lodge or a bit of money you want to throw to your parents, and then you move into a business premises, and then all of a sudden you're paying $400 plus a month, plus more overheads, and then you have to work out if you can actually do that. There's a lot of businesses who do get startup loans, move into premises, pretty much run out of money and then shut down the business, because that happens so much. And especially business rates as well, which is like housing tax but for businesses, so that's a killer. My advice to anyone who wants to grow their business would be to always do a breakdown of your worst case scenario for 30 days and work out if you could still afford to get away with doing a worst case scenario. So for me, say for example, when I get the office, I need to make sure that I hit the base income, which will cover the rent for the office and any overheads. So take away any sort of private work, freelance work, focus on the agency work that comes in, which is like my version of like a really bad month, and obviously work out the finance for that. And for me, for example, not boasting, but if I did have a worst case scenario, I would still be in slight profit. So that's the way I've worked out finances for myself anyway. So I would recommend anyone to always do a plan B, worst case scenario, work out your overheads and see how much you got left. And always save as well, always save. So if anything just goes to the shitter, you've always got a bit of money to look after you, even if you fall short of the worst case scenario for a month, of course. You can always borrow money from which you've saved up. But primarily, always forecast a really bad month or a really bad couple of months. And yeah, just do it that way. So luckily for me, like I said, even if I do have a worst case scenario, I will be able to cover my own overheads, plus make a slight profit. So if I do have a good month, of course, it will be good profit, not just about paying overheads. So try and figure that out. The finances can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Depends what genre of business you're in, of course. But yeah, like web and graphics, there is a big turnover in profit, fortunately for my trade. But there are a lot of people who open shops who sell something quite nichey, like socks or t-shirts. And you gotta wonder, how many socks and t-shirts do they have to sell in a week or a month to actually cover their own overheads? And I look at some businesses and I'm like, they can't be doing it. They must always be borrowing money. I don't understand how some businesses do that. You know, they borrow money to open a shop front, sit behind the desk all day, and wonder why no money is coming through the door, or nobody is coming through the door to buy their products. And it's amazing how many people open businesses who have that lazy mentality. Anyway, I gotta shoot off now, guys. I want to say thanks for watching. Any more questions, let me know in the comments below. It doesn't have to be business related, but I thought I'd just get the ball rolling anyway. I've apparently burned my onions talking in this video, but yeah, I'll see you next time, so peace out.